And that story relates to the fact that the House Select Committee has held a 7th hearing on Capitol Hill into last year's riots by Donald Trump's supporters. The panel heard from former members of right-wing militia groups who testified about the role they played during the Capitol siege and Donald Trump's effective mobilization of them. The panel highlighted a December 2020 tweet in which the then president called for a large protest in Washington on January the 6th to demonstrate against the outcome of the election. The panel said this was a call to action and in some cases even a call to arms for Trump's most loyal supporters.
At 1:42 a.m. on December 19, 2020, shortly after the last participants left the unhinged meeting, Trump sent out the tweet with his explosive invitation. Trump repeated his big lie and claimed it was, quote, statistically impossible to have lost the 2020 election before calling for a big protest in D.C. on January 6th. Be there, will be wild. Trump's supporters responded immediately.
After the tweet was published, pro-Trump groups rescheduled planned protests for late January and switched the date to January the 6th.
No, we didn't actually plan to go down there. We went basically to see the Stop the Steal rally, and that was it.
So why'd you decide to march to the Capitol?
Well, basically, the president, got everybody riled up, told everybody to head on down. So we basically were just following what he said.
So let's return to WION's New York correspondent Susan Tehrani. Susan, at the end of that hearing yesterday, dissident Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney claimed that Donald Trump may have recently engaged in a bit of witness tampering. You watched that hearing take place yesterday. How much damage, additional damage, do you think that it did to Donald Trump and hasten the day when perhaps he may face criminal justice?
When you look at these hearings as a whole, obviously it doesn't make Donald Trump look good. This hearing has been choreographed from the very beginning. There is an executive producer, a head of a large TV network that's been choreographing it for television purposes. So it's not surprising that Liz Cheney would sort of come out with a cliffhanger, if you may, at the end of the hearing that Donald Trump has done something, stay tuned for the next episode kind of thing. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's up to the Justice Department to decide whether or not criminal charges can be put on Donald Trump or not. This is a hearing that has attempted to try to gather the scope of Donald Trump's quote-unquote unhinged behavior to the lead up to January 6th, and also perhaps after that in trying to prevent the peaceful transfer of power. Now, whether or not they're able to do that and whether or not the Justice Department will see these evidence as, a cause to proceed with criminal charges or not, that's yet to be seen. Witness tampering obviously is a huge crime, but is there enough evidence to charge a former president? Again, we'll have to wait and see. But, as a whole, yes, it doesn't make Donald Trump look good. Have criminal charges been put against him as of now? No. Will this and these hearings drag on probably until the midterms? I think it's safe to say yes.
Well, they're certainly going to drag on at least until next week because there's another hearing scheduled then. Susan Tehrani with us today from New York on two separate stories. Thanks very much indeed for that. And thanks to you for watching this edition of WION Live broadcast from Washington, D.C. on a very busy day in Sri Lanka, in Tel Aviv and right here in the United States.